All right, welcome everybody. We are here in Meet the Candidates, part one, first one for the year, 2021. Here are all our candidates and special guests who will introduce themselves right a little before the candidates. Thank you so much to everyone that's watching and that will be watching. I hope that you guys enjoy this, and we'll get straight into it. I am here joined by my co-host Thomas Neubauer. Please, Thomas, say a couple words.
I mean, I don't even know what to say now, but I I wish you all luck. At least I will say that first. Me and Gerardo came up with a good list of questions. We're hoping that Adam and anybody else that joins will be able to ask your questions, and we'll basically just go around the room and give you a chance to speak.
Absolutely, I'll take it back from there. So let me tell you that, you guys. I said, me and Thomas have had the personal joy of getting to know most, if not all of you guys to a degree. Uh, Let me just say thank you to all of you for you got your 50 signatures. You're here because you made an effort. And I just want to say, as co-manager of this whole thing, the SJ elections, and I think Thomas feels the same way. I think we feel very happy that you guys are here. We are very thankful that you guys are here, and we're very proud of you guys for being here. Both me and Thomas are people that care about the school, and we can tell you that, even when you guys are in power and we'll be gone, I know both of us will be always here available to help you guys out because we really do care about SGA, and we're really happy to have you guys be like the next generation. All right. So thank you so much. So with that little opening, I want to get straight into the questions. Thomas, would you like, oh, actually, before that, let me actually introduce the people that are here as guests. I'll go with Teddy first and then Adam. Teddy, can you introduce yourself?
Hi. Most of you know me, but I guess some of you may not. My name is Theodore Silva. I am the current president of student government, but pretend I'm not here. I'm an audience member. I'm not here as president. I'm here as a spectator.
All right, thank you. And Adam?
I am Adam Zimbauer. This is my second 2.5 year at RVCC. And yeah, I know it sounds stupid, but I'm also a member of the Student Life Activities Planning Board, also known as SLAP, and that will be changed very soon.
Adam, you can't say that.
Yeah, that's the no word. You can't say that anymore.
Oh, sorry. What do I call it then?
The programming board. The programming board. Okay, well, that's it for Adam. Okay, well, let's go ahead. So, all right. So if you guys don't have any questions before we get straight into it, I'll explain the format. I'll hand it back to Thomas, and we'll go from there. Essentially, this is Meet the Candidates. I think I've told all of you guys a little bit about it, but these are meant to be questions that just give us an opportunity to learn about you. There's no right answer and there's no wrong answer. There's just what it matters to you. A lot of these are opinion questions. Some of them might involve thinking a little bit. So we will give you guys a little bit of time to kind of like be the, if you want to volunteer first, that's up to you. But again, these are questions are not meant to destroy you. This is not a grilling session. These questions are just things that we think are important for you to think about and things that we think it's important for other people to know about you. So I'll pass it back to Thomas and we'll go from there.
Okay, so I guess we'll get started. So just to start, so basically, so everybody knows who you are, we'll go around the room, the Zoom room here, and just tell us about yourself, a little bit about yourself, your major, your hometown, obviously who you are, and why did you come to RVCC. So actually, let's start with Nicole because she's running for president, and we'll go down the list position-wise.
Hi everyone, my name is Nicole Chu and I'm running for president. I'm a computer science major and my hometown's Millburn, but I moved to Tewksbury last year, so I thought it'd be better to go to RV instead of an actual university during this pandemic. Yeah.
It's a good choice.
Madison?
Hi everyone, my name is Madison and I'm from South Bound Brook, New Jersey, but right now I'm living with my dad, so I'm living in Irvington. It's not the best switch, but hey, I wanted to go to RVC. Oh, I'm a pre-med major, by the way. And I wanted to go to RVCC to save money. I was going to go to Rutgers, but I'm like, why would I spend $15,000 to sit in my house when I could just save money and go for free? You know? So yeah.
All right, Michael.
Hi guys, my name is Michael. I'm currently just a general business major at RV. It's only my second semester. I'm from Oxford, New Jersey, pretty much middle of nowhere almost, very quiet out here. But I am running for the VP of Finance position, and I look forward to getting to know everyone.
All right, then we'll go with Josue.
Hey everyone, my name is Josue Penaloza. I am a social science major at RVCC. I am from Tampa, Florida. I've been living in New Jersey for about 2 years, and it's been a great experience so far. I'm at RVCC. When I got here, finished my senior year, I looked at my options, and RV fit really well for what I was looking to do.
All right, and then Preston.
Thanks. I'm Preston Clausen. I'm running for the VP of Info and Media position. This is my second semester here at RV, and I'm a computer science and mathematics double major. My hometown's Califon, New Jersey. Kind of like Mike, it's in the middle of nowhere, so if you're not from there, you probably never heard of it. And I decided to come to RV because, well, there were actually a few reasons. My older brother had already gone here, so I knew that RV would do its best to help me out. It was a cheap option, and that was something that I really wanted to, have rather than going to like an $80,000 a year private university. And yeah, that's, I'm pretty excited to be here. I hope that we can all get to know each other a bit better throughout this.
All right, and then Mark. Actually, wait, no. Gosh, Connie. Connie goes first, and then Mark goes last.
Oh, Connie, we can't hear you.
Can't hear you currently.
Sorry, I had a mute button on my computer. Hi everyone, my name is Connie. I'm currently a freshman at RV. I'm a biology and chemistry double major, and I'm from Hillsborough. I decided to go to RV so that I can achieve a higher education at a fraction of the cost.
All right, and then Mark.
Hello everyone, my name is Mark Den Hollander. I'm from Pittstown, New Jersey, which is in Hunterdon County, so not too far away from RVCC. I am a education major. I would like to teach grammar and literature one day, and I came to RV. This is kind of a second career for me. I spent 4 years in the food industry. I actually went out to London and was fully trained in French pastry, but just didn't see it long term with my career goals. So going back to being a teacher, I always wanted to be a teacher. So yeah, this is why I'm at RV.
All right, so guess we'll start going to the questions. Gerardo, you want to start, or?
Yep, I'll take over from here. So thank
Okay.
you everybody for sharing your stories real quick. That was that was really nice, really interesting. Again, I think that's the first opportunity to share a little bit about yourself. Here's a couple more. Let's call it that. So first question, and I think this one's, I'll just kind of leave it open. We'll however many people want to go ahead and you can answer. If you'd rather not answer it, you're not forced to. The first question that I did want to ask you guys was, what are some of the activities you are currently involved in on campus? And if you want to go first, I would say just raise your hand like on Zoom. I think you guys know how to raise a hand, and then we'll go down the room. All right, Preston wants to start it off. All right, we'll give it to Preston.
Thanks a lot, man. I'll lower my hand now. There we go. I'm a member of the Young Democrats Club. I'm also a member of the Future of American Democracy thing. I was a proxy for the previous SGA VP of Info and Media, Sammy. So yeah, this is only my second semester here at RV, but I really want to continue to try to help out the university in any way that I can. So I thought, maybe this will be a a good way to do that.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Thank you, Preston. Then I'll pass it to Nicole.
The current club I'm involved in is the Young Republicans Club and Crew.
Awesome. Thank you. Anybody else wants to answer the question?
I will. I'm involved in the pre-med club and kind of sort of the Rotaract club. I'm trying to get more involved. I was in it in high school. It was a Rotary club, but this is, college level. But it kind of died down since like the whole pandemic, which is sad. And I'm also a part of the Crew club too. So yeah.
Thank you, Madison. Anybody else? Oh, Connie, I see you raise your hand. Go ahead.
I'm part of 3 clubs. I'm part of pre-med, similar to Madison. I'm also part of the Student Life Activities and Planning Board Club. And I'm also part of Rotaract because I really like helping others. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask.
All right, anybody else? Going once. Oh, Mark.
Go ahead. Oh, Mark.
Yes, so I've recently got involved with the Enactus Club. I'm a member of Young Republicans, and I've recently joined just helping out on general committee a bit as well. So the recent survey that they started to make, I was kind of involved with editing that, so that was a good experience.
Michael?
I am currently the president of the Enactus Club, as well as a member of the Young Republicans, and I was proxy for Gerardo, so looking forward to fulfilling, taking over his role and hopefully carrying on his legacy. So
Awesome. Like that. So let me see. Would anybody else like to go? Josue, you go ahead.
I am a member of the Young Republicans Club. That's been my main focus at RVCC, is just helping out within the club, helping build it up, and yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for answering. That was a good first question. And I'll pass it back to Thomas. Thomas can ask the next question.
All right. So the next question, since, most of you have been here at least a semester, this probably is your second semester for most of you, if not, a few more, graduating sooner rather than later. But so I'm going to ask all of you, and, feel free to go in whatever order, but, I am hoping that all of you would answer this. My question for you guys is, what do you see as the top 3 issues affecting students currently? And whoever wants to go first can go first, but we'll just, have everybody answer.
No one raised their hand. We're just going to start calling on people.
We can give them a little time, I think.
Yeah, no,
Give me a few seconds. I got you.
Yeah, I'm fine with giving them a little. I'm fine with giving them a couple seconds. Don't worry about it. So, okay, wait. So I think I heard Preston and Michael, and then so we'll go Preston, Michael, and then we'll keep it going from there.
I have a question too. You mean issues facing like RV exclusively students? And the second part of that is, are the issues they facing something like we think we can solve, or something that is a problem that we may not be able to solve?
It doesn't. You don't need to be able to have a direct effect on it. So don't look at it as like, oh, we need to be able to fix it. Just think of it as it's important to at least know, even if we can't do anything about it.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's for RE students specifically. Yeah. All right. So I'll pass it to Preston, and then we'll go from there.
All right. Glad to be the one to start this whole thing off. So let's get the ball rolling. I would say the first of the biggest 3 issues facing students today at RV is isolation. I know a lot of people, who just aren't in any of my classes, and they are having a hard time, reaching out to people, because really the only avenue they have to reach out to anyone is just the people who are already in their classes. Like, you don't get to try to meet anyone the way that you would on campus. So I would say that's one of the big 3 issues right there. And I hope we can take steps to solve that. The second, probably stress. I don't really get stressed myself. I just never have. But obviously you hear a lot of the time people stressing over tons of tests, over tons of homework. And that's always something that we can try to help to them out with. The third issue, I guess I would say, what is it? Third issue. One second. I would say motivation. Because again, with online classes, there's a lot of people who they want to try to do things that they normally will on campus, but they can't really bring up the motivation to do so because it's like it's a different experience. You know, like you don't see people person to person. You don't really have the same experiences that you would in an in-person class. So like I know there's this one guy I know who was part of my gaming club back in high school. RV also has a gaming club, as you know, and he's really interested in that type of thing, but he just can't bring up the motivation to join the club. It's stuff like that that I'm talking about. You know, I think if we could try to solve these issues, we would probably have a really, really good environment for the next semester.
All right, Michael, you said you're going next, or?
Sure, I can go. Number one would definitely be the lack of opportunity, I'd say, as it stands right now with COVID. I mean, like, I know this isn't just limited to RV students, but I worry about people when they transfer out to their four-year universities about having extracurriculars and certain people internships, and all depends on your related field. But as a whole, I think this is a huge issue we're struggling with, and I don't know the clear solution to that, but I know it's something that a lot of people are like anxious about all the time, thinking about what's going to make me stand out now. How am I supposed to find something that makes me unique besides just focusing on grades? Number two, I would say, is the cost of tuition. I think like the tuition bills and how much people have to pay with certain classes right now that require you to not just buy the supplement material like the book, but you have to buy, like for my accounting class, you have to buy like this like online Cengage system just to do the homework and the homework quizzes, and that's like $140 alone. So that's, I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous. Like, once again, not something I know we can't do much about, but I mean, it's a lot of money. And, you know, I'm fortunate enough, like my family owns a business. I've been working my whole life, but kids, I mean, that work have other bills to pay too. And this is just added stress on that. So, and then I would say number three, I would agree with Preston here. I think motivation is really tough during this time because you're just not seeing people. You're not inspired by everyone. We have to look at each other through this like digital lens, I guess, and just stare at screens all day. And I always find it funny how in the pandemic right now, everyone wears a mask. And I think some reason I miss seeing people just smile out in public, being happy. You don't see their expression anymore. And that just kind of tears away at you after a while. But that's what I see plaguing RV right now.
All right, Nicole.
Hi, I think the three factors that we are lacking in and struggling as a college is our communication, our cost, and our connections. With communication, since I'm a student, we're all students in our school, we do have concerns, whether it comes to our class, our teacher, or overall just we have questions and concerns. However, because everything switched to online, I feel like us students do not have the proper communication when it comes to our teachers. We feel like our opinions aren't really heard, our emails will be ignored, and you know, we're in college and we need a lot of help. This is something very important to us that's going to, you know, transition to a bigger world. Also, I believe cost is an issue. For the pandemic, I'm assuming most of us went to community college so we can save. However, you know, when we buy like our textbooks and our supplies, it's overwhelmingly like much more than we expected. The tuition is very expensive, even if it's just a community. I know it definitely does help. However, textbooks are very, very pricey. We have to buy access codes to submit our homework. So that's already an issue to most of us. And connection, I was speaking with Theodore last week, saying how we don't really have a connection with other students. And this is our college years. You know, we look forward to having a social life, a student life, but everything switched online. So I feel like how Preston worded it, we are very isolated. It's either Preston or Michael, but I feel isolated, and there's no connection, there's no friendships, there's no community at this point. So I'd like to fix those three factors.
All right, does anybody want to go next?
I'll just say thanks for remembering what I said, Nicole. You know,
Of course, of course.
Well, I do want to butt in if I can be selfish and say,
We'll allow it.
yeah, thank you. Thank you too. Nicole said something about meeting with me. I wasn't just meeting with Nicole because she could be our next president. Any or all of you can meet with me if you choose to. Just send my Outlook calendar is up to date. If you send a meeting request to me or visit me during my office hours, I'd be happy to talk to you about, what we're up to, what our current student government is up to, and the types of projects that you will inherit. Because I promise you will inherit our projects.
Like that reminds me of like what like my intro to philosopher teacher said. Like, if you're afraid of asking for help, just try to think of everything from your teacher's point of view and like think of how lonely they are during their office hours. Just waiting for a student to come in and ask for.
I'm lonely all the time.
He's not wrong. I just be sitting in my office hours, and then sometimes Thomas stops by, and sometimes he doesn't, and it just get really sad.
I get so sad when Thomas doesn't visit me.
But back to the point. So I think Josue, did I see your hand up at one point, or?
Yeah. I guess for my top 3 issues, we obviously have financial support and community, which I had thought of, which I think have been elaborated really well by Nicole, Preston, Michael. But one of the things that I would really like to focus on is the actual enrollment process at RVCC and how the dynamic of it has changed so much throughout this past year. I remember personally, I have a sister who enrolled at RVCC the year before I did. She's a year older than me, so she enrolled, and she went to campus. She would talk with people in person. She would attend meetings, and that really was able to guide her in terms of what she needed to do and how to properly enroll. And then a year later, when I enrolled, it was a very different experience, and I think all of us can attest to that. And so I think the fact is RVCC, along with the rest of the world, really wasn't prepared for this type of change. And given that there honestly is no clear path to when this is all going to end, I think one thing where we really should focus on is making sure that the enrollment process for new students is as smooth as can possibly be, and to not have hours waiting for a phone call, trying to email different people, things like that really stress out new students. I think if we could really tackle that, that would be a huge help and would really motivate our new generations that are coming in.
All right, Mark, do you want to go next?
Yes, thank you. I think a lot of really, really interesting topics have already been brought up. Something I guess I've thought about in the time that I've been at RV is kind of the complexity of transcripts and all the different classes you have to take, and making sure that they're in line with your major. I know I struggled with that a bit, and at the beginning, I didn't have the necessary, I guess, contacts to make the right decisions. I mean, eventually it rolled out and it was fine. But I feel like that's something that we could really focus on as a student body and as like from the faculty level, that there would be more direction as to what classes that you have to take. I just felt like there's a lot of like nooks and crannies where students can fall in and just not really know what to do next, or they'll end up taking a wrong class. Another thing is, like other people already mentioned, is the motivation. I think that we could really use, I don't know exactly what, but I think we need, as a student body, we need to motivate each other. We're here, we need to be here for each other. We need to help each other out as best as we can. And as everyone was talking, the thought popped in my head, which is my third point. What about if we would actually take, for like the incoming students, if we would get them mentor students, where other students would actually guide the new students. So like, yes, we're here like as if say you're a third semester student, you know a lot more than a new student coming in. So maybe a mentor student could kind of, especially during these pandemic times, could kind of push them along to motivate them to answer their questions, reach out, always be there if they have a quick question by text or something. I think that'd be something we could look into, and it would maybe give us more of that community that we're talking about. Oh yeah, my student mentor, or my, like, I mean, it doesn't have to be a formal relationship like that. It can be more of a friendly relationship, but I think that's maybe a means that we could use to bring people together more during these isolated times.
All right, thank you. Preston, did you wanna make a comment?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I just wanted to say the whole mentor thing is already a thing inside the honors college, but I do agree with Mark that should be expanded to basically all kinds of students, because I took part in it. It was a great help during my first semester, and I think if we could get that experience to basically every student on RV, if they so wished, that would be honestly, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, as an honors college mentor, I can attest to the fact that I mentored Michael. So
I like how you guys are already brainstorming ideas in your first call together. I wish I was taking notes. I'm gonna start taking notes now.
this is all being recorded, so if you want the recording, I can give it to you.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, like, I mean, going to RVCC, like, I swear, like, I can just do a whole monologue of, like, in a famous comedian's voice I know, like, how gigantic the campus is, where you think that you're in one area and then you're in the next area. They're like, oh, we're in the College Center. I thought we were supposed to be in Hunter and Hall, and vice versa. Yeah, I think there's something to be missed, like being physically on campus rather than just doing it virtually, even though that there's like very astute points or advantages to both. I'm just running on. I'm like Michael Scott blabbing right now.
No, it's no problem. I think we all are, glad just to hear another voice jump into the chorus.
All right, let's give Connie a chance to speak.
Thanks. Yeah, I just wanted to add that the Honors College does have the mentor-mentee pair, and as someone that partook in it, I don't regret it. My mentor isn't even related to my major. He's actually a business major, but even so, I think that the experiences that he shared and like even the internships that he mentioned, I think that has been super motivating, and he also helped me through a lot.
All right, I think I'll take over from here. So we'll be moving on to our next question. So let's see it. So let me pick which one would be a little good. Okay, this is a good one. We'll do this one because this one might be a longer answer. And then after we do that one, we'll be opening up to audience questions. So Adam and Teddy will have an opportunity to ask questions. So let me get to this one. So my question to all of you guys is, how will you support clubs and organizations, both academic, special interest, and cultural? Again, you gotta remember, helping out clubs is always one of the things that, as SGA, you want to focus on. So, I'm just gonna ramble on, give you guys a little bit of time to think, and like I said, so just make sure that these are things that you keep in mind. These are really good, and I see that Preston's ready to open up.
Yep. All right. Thank you so much, Sherry. I've been thinking about this.
Jerry.
And yeah.
Let's explain later.
Sorry.
Right.
Let's explain, yeah, we can explain after. Sorry.
I didn't mean to derail you.
No problem. I've been thinking about this, and a lot of the other RV students I know, they aren't, like I said earlier, they aren't really getting involved in clubs the way that they should be, due to lack of motivation, due to isolation, et cetera, et cetera. But I've just been thinking, how would we get the word out? Because we've been spreading clubs messages on RV Connect, which is accessible to all RV students, but that doesn't mean that every student actually uses it. Like I know that most of the people I know don't actually use RV Connect for some reason. And so I was thinking, what does every RV student have? And I mean, every RV student has an email account, right? Which I got to be checking constantly. So I think if we had like kind of like weekly or like bi-weekly updates on each club emailed out to every student, I think that would go a long way in telling these students that, hey, this club is here, this club is doing this club is meeting then. And I think that would get the motivation and everything pretty high up.
All right, thank you so much, Preston. I think, Nicole, I see your hands up. But I think, Madison, do you have your hand up first? Yeah, okay. So we'll do Madison, then Nicole.
Okay, I think that I would probably use other platforms besides RV Connect because I know a lot of kids just don't use it. I don't know why, but something like Instagram or something that's more like people use. It's just, young people are on there more often. I know it probably won't fit to like more the older students at RV because I know we use like Snapchat and like half the people like, what's Snapchat? Like, I don't even know what that is, but it's just like getting the word out more. And because people just look at Instagram more often, they just view it more often. So if you just like post a gaming club is on Tuesday or this and the third, like people will actually probably ask about it. I know when I was running for the campaign, like people would start with my story and they'd be like, oh, where do I vote? Oh, what's SGA? Oh, how do I get more involved in clubs? And this and the third. And I'll probably also like announce it during class. I know a lot of teachers you probably have to ask, but they probably don't mind because they love that students are involved on campus as well. So yeah.
All right, thank you. So goes on to Nicole.
Hi, so I really agree with Madison. Madison, you made a great point. Snapchat's usually used around the ages like 20 and below, and community college has many different people with different ages, so yeah, Snapchat's not the most efficient, but I agree with Instagram, and I feel like if we are able to portray it and make it, eye-catching, people will actually be very intrigued and involved. I do agree, RV Connect is not used as much, unfortunately. And I understand sending out emails because we all have an email account. However, when we are assigned so many assignments and other emails from the actual school, it becomes cluttered and people get overwhelmed and they don't really read it efficiently. So I agree with the Instagram account. And I would like to propose to support organizations. We do a weekly check-in. We ask each club, or we assign people with a certain group of clubs and ask them how are they, like, what are they doing, if they need any help, so the clubs feel supported. And I know we have a lot of, they want like funding to do some projects, even though everything's like online. But maybe we can, use the like leftover tuition money we have and support them, or just in general communicate with them, because it's an organization. Clubs they need support, and that's why we're here for them.
Thank you. Here, I'll pass it. I think Preston, you raise your hand. So I'll do Preston, Connie, and then Josue.
All right. I'll just lower my hand now. There we go. Yeah, I like Madison's idea. I just have a few concerns over that. Because I know the Young Democrats Club already tried to get the word out through various forms of social media, like Twitter, like Instagram, etc. And we didn't really have much success there. The thing about something like Instagram is that it's like an RV club account isn't just going to show up in someone's feed unless it gets a lot of traction. Really, that would only target people who already know about the club. I think, like, I appreciate what Nicole said about my idea, but I still think that the email would be a pretty good solution because, like she said, everyone has an email account. And so if we use that, then we can get everyone to basically hear about all these clubs they otherwise might not have heard about. Yeah, I appreciate the collaboration because I think that what we got to do is not tear each other down, but help each other and support our ideas to get to a really good one.
Thank you. Okay, so I'll pass it back to Connie.
All right, so I was just going to say, I think a problem is also the lack of organization. Because with most clubs that I know, they have their own separate Microsoft Teams channel, and in order to join those, you have to click on like 5 million different links. So I think one way to solve that is, as Madison said, to promote the clubs during classes, especially if it pertains to the student's major. Because I know that the Bio and Chem Club, they can focus on a lot of science classes, and it's also a lot helpful because I saw that a lot of the people in the Bio Chem Club were in my science classes, so they were my classmates. So it's nice to see like a familiar face. And I think another issue is that there's not a lot of clubs that are active this year, so it's hard to tell whether or not, you know what I mean, a club is active or not, because they have their own separate channels. And so, you know what I mean, I think most students have to resort to like starting their own club in order to like join. I don't know, because I know that my friend tried to join the karaoke club and they were not active at all.
Yeah, I agree with you, Connie. I know a lot of kids try to join clubs during the involvement fair, and like nobody was in the Microsoft Teams to even join. So it was sad.
All right, Josue, want to say something?
Yeah, I
Cool.
loved all the ideas that have been presented here so far. I think they really summed up well what we need to do in order to support clubs and help grow clubs. Another thing that I would like to add personally is I think SGA should really focus greatly on listening to clubs and what the needs of a club are. When we think about how many clubs there are and the types of clubs that there are, it also means that the needs of the clubs often differ greatly. An academic club might need something very different from a special interest club or a cultural club, right? They don't need the same thing. So I think it's very important that we make that distinction, that we can separate them into categories almost and say, well, what do the cultural clubs need? What do the academic clubs need? As opposed to maybe just labeling them all as clubs. And I think by doing that, we can really focus on clubs more individually. Maybe not individually because there are so many, but at the very least, focus on categories in which clubs have similar needs. So I think that would be something really good that we could do. And also just what everyone else has said, just help grow clubs as much as we can, either through social media, by promoting RV Connect, through email, as Preston said. So yeah, I think that would be important as well.
All right, thank you. So I
All
think
right. Yeah, so actually, due to the time, let's let Nicole go, let's let Mark go, and then we'll move on
oh yeah.
after that.
Okay, I want to say email use is great. I definitely agree with that. RV Connect is great. Social media is great. However, also I was just thinking we should take advantage of Canvas because that's the one website we all use. We have to use constantly, and we love to get everything checked. So I feel like Canvas, we should definitely take advantage of that. And I just have a question or a recommendation. Is there any way we can switch email providers? Can we go to Gmail? Because Outlook becomes clustered overall. And I spoke with a couple of my teachers, and they would they would use humor obviously, but they would complain that Outlook is very complicated to use and it crashes a lot and it's very slow. So when I get emails, or when in general, when people get emails about clubs and our courses, our teachers, it's just so overwhelming to look at. So I like Gmail because they separate everything naturally and it's a much more cleaner platform to use.
Yeah, that was very interesting what you said. I'm wondering, Alicia, would you happen to know the answer to that? Or maybe like anybody that would? So I feel like that's something that SGA this year or next year should pursue if Alicia's able to speak. Maybe not. All right. Well, it's definitely Alicia.
Yes. Hi. Good
Okay.
afternoon, everyone. As far as the email, there was a decision made by the person who was in charge of IT in the past to change the email system. So at one point, students were on Gmail accounts, and then a decision was made to change it back. Unfortunately, I don't know what that decision was and why they did that. But then they went back to the Microsoft Office product. So one of the things I would recommend SGA to do is maybe talk to the current IT director and just get a sense of why those decisions were made. It was made by a previous director though, but this person would certainly know why, what that decision was and why it was changed.
Very interesting. Would you mind to put that person's name in the chat so then SGA can think about that a little bit?
Yeah.
Absolutely, not a problem.
Right, cool.
Thank you so much. Then I'll pass it to Mark, and then from Mark, we'll go to the audience questions.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to take it on a bit more of a theoretical route. I think that if we would provide, well, not necessarily we, but I think that the clubs themselves should maybe think more about the why that people should be joining their club. So if they can communicate to students the benefits that they'll receive, and just like in general, how they can get more engaged, like what is the purpose? Why should they be joining their club? If we can maybe communicate that better, I think that the students will be more, like it'll spark their attention, or like just something more, yes, we can go out and we can go on all these, we can go on Instagram, we can go on Snapchat, everything. But if they don't know the why they should be there or how it's going to benefit them, I think that that's how we can maybe take it a step further than just simply putting the name out there. You can look at something 1,000 times, but if you don't know why it's important, then why would you do it anyway? So that's my 2 cents.
So I'm guessing you're saying something like a club description, like a description of what the club does when they meet, stuff like that.
Or even maybe something more, maybe even a video or something.
I like this a lot. I like that you guys are like thinking of very practical ideas, and I see that like a lot of you guys are ready to put those into effect. So that's a good start. So I know Teddy's here. I know Adam's here. So again, thanks for everything so far. I see that Teddy raised his hand, so I'll let Teddy ask a question first, and go ahead.
So I've sort of been thinking up questions as we're talking, and I'm sure I'll come up with more. But yeah, let me start by sort of I appreciate all the hard work everyone has done to get all those signatures and start running through the proper channels. But I do want to mention, I think it's worth mentioning that there's a small handful of candidates who are still running for president, or excuse me, still running for student government, still can possibly win positions in student government, and they contest a few of your positions. And we hope that, there are still going to be write-in candidates that will be encouraging by the end of, up until the end of the election. So as much as I'm saying this genuinely, I'm really excited about this crowd here. Not all of you are going to win. There are a handful of you with contested positions who are going to lose. So, and whoever wants to answer this question can answer it. It's not to any one of you in particular. If you lose your election, what do you plan to do? There are no wrong answers. To be honest, it isn't like a trick question. What will you do if you lose your election? Preston, your hand went up first.
Thank you, Tom.
I cry, says Nicole.
Sorry. I think that me losing is a very real possibility. So I've been thinking about this one. First, I would accept defeat, obviously. If my opponent gets more votes than me and wins, and that's just how it is. Second, I would still try to be involved with SGA. I would still like to try and help them out any way that I can. Now, I don't know exactly how I would be able to, but even just attending the meetings, I think would be a good first step. So yeah, I would like to still help out SGA even if I do end up losing this election. So yeah, that's about all I have to say. Thanks.
Perfect.
All right, I saw Josue's hand went up, and then I saw Madison, so we'll do Josue and then Madison. Yeah,
so the idea of losing has definitely crossed my mind. I think it's crossed all of our minds, especially if we know that the position we're seeking is contested. Obviously, I would want to win, most definitely, but I think it would also be incredibly ignorant to assume that I'm going to win. So in that regards, I am fully prepared mentally, I guess, for the very real possibility that I lose. In the case that I do, I would definitely be upset. I do want to win, but I think I would focus on my education, I guess, on just finishing out my time at RVCC, and also help out in whatever way I can, you know, whether it be joining general committee, maybe another committee, or just even just as a student, voicing my opinion, attending meetings, providing whatever information I can, continue to grow my club and help through that avenue. So I think it's definitely very possible and very available to anyone really to help out in SGA in many various ways. And so I would definitely pursue those routes to kind of, you know, maintain a sort of position, I guess, and to just continue to work and help out the university in whatever way I can, or the college, I guess, in whatever way I can.
All right, pass it on to Madison.
You guys know that song, like, pick yourself up and try again? Like, that's probably exactly what I would do. Like, that's the first thing that came to mind. If I lose, just try again. Like, losing is not the end, in my opinion. Like, well, you can still be involved. Like, you shouldn't just cut everything off just because your ego got hurt, you know? So, yeah.
Anybody else wants to answer the question, or we'll move on to another question?
All right, let's take Connie, and then we can move on to another question after.
I definitely accept defeat, and I would congratulate my opponent, because I think it's absolutely amazing for them to reach out to so many voices and have, you know what I mean, people vote for them. But I would still continue with my club, Student Life Activities and Planning Board, because I think I joined it more or less because I want to help the community, and whether or not I'm part of the board doesn't really matter, because you know what I mean, it's more of a collective effort. So I think I'd still want to contribute.
Yeah. You guys would love the story of how I wound up like senator of student government like a couple of years ago, like totally by mistake. I mean, you might get a kick out of that if we have time in the end.
We'll see right now. Adam, would you like to ask a question?
This might be kind of like a very intuitive question. Like, how do you feel that the positions that you're running for kind of tie into your personal interests?
Thank you for that question. It's pretty good. I'll give a chance to everybody that didn't answer the last question to go first. So, you know, I guess Nicole, Michael, Mark, any of you guys would like to start? All right, Mark, go ahead.
So I guess for senator position, our role is to interact directly with the students. I'm very much a people person. I feel like it fits exactly my definition. So yeah, I really enjoy reaching out to people. I'm very outgoing, so I think that's why a senator position is perfect for me. Sorry.
All right, awesome. Let me see. Michael, you want to go ahead?
Sure. Yeah. Completely agree with Mark's sentiment. Like I think everyone here who's even attempted to run for a position has some kind of motivation to do with people. Like we like to work with others. We like to see people. We're like social. We're very extroverted. We're not. I mean, we could be introverts, but I think for the most part we like to work with others, and that's for me why I ran for VP of Finance, as well as like out of all the positions as well, because I want to do business when I get older. I want to potentially be an accountant or like minor in finance, but it's interesting to me, and I think this is a good place to start really learning more about that role. And like I said before, gotta give it to Gerardo. Really mentored me and guided me a lot since I've been at RV. So reach out to this guy if you need some help. He's always on it, man.
Thank you. I might cry.
He is on it.
And then who was it? Nicole, I'll pass it back to you.
Sorry, the question is the position we're running for and how it relates to you. Okay, so well, I am a very big advocate when it comes to community, and that's something I really like to enforce. I believe we are a community, we're a college, we should intertwine and, you know, be friendly. And I know as president, I would have the biggest position to really grab every corner of our college and make it together. And I mean, that's practically it, because this is our college years. We look forward to it, and you know, why not make everyone what's the word? Interact. You know, I know this is a really big position, being president, but if I have this one strong belief of connection, then I feel like that would go a very long way. And president has a lot of responsibilities. I feel like I'm very responsible, and I can, you know, really work on it. Grab, you know, teachers or students, the actual board, and really make us close, especially during this pandemic. I feel like we would lose that. We lose the value of friendships and faculty and all that. So as president, I'd like to really make all of us together.
All right, thank you for that answer. Preston, I see your hand is up, so I'll take Preston, one last person that wants to answer the question, and then we'll move on to one more audience question.
All right, I'll try to keep this one really short. I've often heard that the VP of Info and Media is kind of like the unsung hero of SGA from Jerry. And, you know, their position includes, you know, helping to set the date for, you know, all of things planning, and whether that be SGA meetings, you know, reaching out to club officers and checking out how they're doing. I think I would be really well suited to that. I'm a computer science major, so I've been around computers my whole life. I don't really think it would be much of an issue for me to reach out to people, whether that be in person, if we end up going in person again, or online. And then, you know, as you're planning, this is going to sound really corny, but I am part of a D&D group and have been for the last like 3.5 years with some of my best friends. And I am the dungeon master, which is basically, I guess you could say, president. So what I've been doing is I've been reaching out to those people, you know, planning basically everything, including the dates that we meet, the dates that we talk. So like I said, it's going to sound kind of stupid when I say that, but yeah, I think that I could definitely expand that, you know, experience in planning and all, and reaching out to people to this position.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thanks for sharing. I'm really happy that you shared a little bit about yourself. I think that's one of the things that we love about here. You know, like just be open, be honest about yourself.
I like to consider myself the dungeon master of student government.
Well, you are a master.
Yes, I am a master of the dungeon that is student government.
And he has the gavel, so
he does have the gavel. Okay, wait. So I'll pass it to Josue, and then after that, we'll move on.
So I think Vice President of Info and Media is really a crucial role within SGA. You could almost say that it serves as the glue that holds it all together. And I think I would fit that role rather well. I do believe in my organizational skills and my level of responsibility. I firmly believe that I could fit the role well. I also think that I have a pretty decent amount of cultural knowledge, having lived abroad a few years, having lived in different parts of the country. I have a very deep understanding of culture and of how different people think different ways, which I think is crucial when you want to be in a position that reaches out to students and that deals with RV as a whole. And so having that experience, which serves not only as organizational skills, because, you know, moving abroad is not something that's easy or that's quick to do. So having those experiences has really opened my vision in terms of the world and in terms of the country as well. So I think that would be a very valuable asset going into this position.
All right, we're actually going to move on to the next question. It looks like Alicia has her hand raised, so if you have a question, Alicia, you can ask
I
it.
actually just had a comment based on Petty's last question about if students lose their position. So I just wanted to encourage you guys. You all gave great answers around that. There's always something to do. And I love the way Madison and Connie kind of wrapped it up. You know, get involved in SGA may have other open positions. They have committee opportunities to get involved in. And then if you are involved in another club or organization, consider becoming a leader in that organization or or SGA representative and continue to come to the SGA assemblies, like Jose said, to give your voice, to be able to share and give your voice and ask questions that's needed. So in my opinion, there's really no losers, quote unquote. You just didn't get the position that you sought, but there's always something else to do. So I just wanted to encourage you guys to stay involved, keep your head up, and just get connected in any way that you can, because your voice actually does make a difference. And the president of the college acknowledged that, and Thomas can attest to that because we were in a meeting with him. So he definitely acknowledges that you guys are engaged, and he wants to see more of it. So yeah. I just wanted to share. So Teddy, thanks for that question, because that was a great question.
If I may add to that just like a tiny bit really quickly, John Peluso, some of you may know him. John Peluso ran against Gerardo for VP of Finance, and I've heard the results. It was a razor thin victory. I'm sorry, Gerardo. It was a razor thin victory by Gerardo. He did win, and then John Peluso wound up. We liked him so much that we wound up appointing him to chair of General Committee, which is a position of equal power, equal influence. It's just a different job. Same with Jessica, I believe too. Ran an election against Sammy Daly, who's for I don't know where she is to you. For me, she's right below me here on Zoom, but she narrowly won that election as well, and that Jessica is now a senator of student government. So there are positions within student government for you, I'm sure, and there are positions outside of student government, absolutely, as well.
And on the point of mentioning Sammy, we would like to pass it back to you. Do you have any questions? As right now we're asking the audience questions.
Right now I don't have any questions really. I'm just really happy to see that more than one person wants to be VP of Info and Media. I'm just really honored that you guys saw my work and wanted to replicate it. No, but seriously, yeah, like I'm just really excited that so many people are interested in student government. And I think it's really cool that even with the pandemic and everything, you guys still are so motivated to help out the school. So thank you. And Connie, it's nice to see your face. I've never seen you before. Like we've talked before and stuff. I've never seen what you look like. So it's really cool.
Have I talked to Connie? Have I talking?
That meeting like a Tinder date or something.
Yeah.
Have I ever spoken to Connie before?
Yeah. You have. I attended one SGA meeting, I think last week.
Yeah. I was wondering if I ever saw you in like this, like, oh, I almost said the no word. The Student Life Activities and Planning Board Discord.
Yeah, please don't say that. We're recording, so I'll have to mute you.
We will have to put like the censor bar over my face. We'll have to bleep that one out.
All right. But yeah, I got you. So I'll ask you. Do you want to answer the last question, or do you want me to do it?
Wait, before that, since we did give the courtesy to Sammy if she had any questions, and she didn't, but I know that Teddy definitely won't be able to make it. So if you have like any very, very, very quick questions, you could ask one more, Teddy.
Oh yeah, Teddy, because you won't be here next time. So yeah,
we'll give like 2 minutes for it and all.
I can't come up with that. I'm thinking of another question right now.
If not, then we'll go on. But
yeah, no, we'll go on. So we'll do one more. Oh wait, Sammy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be here next time either because I'm in the same thing I Teddy.
Yeah.
We will be having another event, which unfortunately is at the same date and time as this one.
All right. Then we'll go on to the last question. This one, since it is the last question, we'll give everybody a chance to answer, but I guess try and make them quicker answers because of the time.
Yeah, we're
Gerardo, you can ask it.
Yeah. So we're shooting to finish around 2:10. So again, so we'll give it like we have 5 minutes. So I'll explain it real quick and we'll get to it.
How about we actually go in reverse order this time? We'll start with Mark and then we'll go up.
Okay, so
Gerardo will ask the question first.
I'll ask the question. So the question for you guys, and again, try to keep this one a little quicker. what leadership qualities do you have that will make you a productive member of SGA? And then I'll let Mark start it. Remember, just try to make it short, just to the point.
I plan, and I try to always be on time.
All right, then I think Madison can go.
I would say that I'm very proactive and I always put first things first. I prioritize. So yeah.
Then I'll let Nicole.
I'm a very people person. I love to listen to people's voices and I take account to it. I'm very empathetic, and that's what I think makes me a great leader, because I love to acknowledge and focus on each person, because each person's opinion is very important to us, and I use that.
All right, anybody would like to go next? Person?
Thanks, Sherry. Yeah, I would also describe myself as a people person. I really like just reaching out to people and talking to them about basically anything that they would like to. In fact, if any of you want to talk sometime later, feel free to hit me up, GroupMe, Teams, RV Connect, etc., etc. And yeah, like I said, I've also been a dungeon master of my D&D group. Like I said, I know that sounds stupid, but it really is a lot of work to manage like 7 people, make sure that you know what's going on with them. Plan basically with people who are even in other countries. My best friend who just moved to Japan a few months back. So I think I would be well suited to that. Yeah.
All right, thank you. I'll do Connie and then Jose will finish up. Oh no, and Michael after. So Connie, go ahead.
Yep. I'm a great listener, so I'll try my best to address the concerns of the students.
All right, thank you. We'll do Josue now.
I consider myself well organized as well as determined. I know what my goals are, and I have the will to work towards them.
Awesome, and then we'll be finishing up on Michael. Go ahead.
I would describe myself as honest. If there's something I think doesn't sound right or doesn't fit the circumstance, I will tell someone or I'll make a point about it. And I always have a general rule. I don't like to complain about things that I can't fix or see a better solution. So.
All right, and I really appreciate that, guys. That's pretty good. I like those responses. I already kept it short, so we get to the point. So
we can just say some closing thoughts, I guess, yes. And then we'll end the recording a few minutes early.
So we'll do that. So if you want, Thomas, go ahead, and then I'll close it up.
All right, so for anybody who's listening to this recording, just a reminder that next week at this exact time, so February 25th at 1 p.m. to 2:20 p.m., we're having another one of these Meet the Candidates events. All students are invited. We're hoping that more students will be able to show up and ask questions. And thanks to everybody who couldn't make it, that being Teddy, Sammy, Alicia, Adam, and so yeah. Thanks again, all of you, for attending. And I'll give it over to Gerardo if he wants to say anything.
Awesome. Yeah, so absolutely. So I just want to say again, once more, thank you guys for being here. That was a great event. I really love the fact that I could see some interactions already happening between you guys. I could see that there's some connections being made. You guys are bouncing back ideas. So I can tell you that you had a very productive, if you want to look at it this way, you've had a very productive introduction to SGA. I'm a big fan of it. Congratulations. Again, make sure to be here next week. We'll keep this going. We have a couple more questions, So again, consider you guys successes because you got through it. You did it. You guys did a great job. I can tell you that me, Teddy, and Thomas have been private messaging each other, just talking about how great you guys are. And that's not to tickle your guys' ego, that we really do mean it. You guys did a great job. So thank you so much for being here. I'm going to stop the recording, and we are